you start imagining that the narcissist or the psychopath or the toxic person that screwed you over, you start to idealize and wonder, hey, you know what? They probably have grown up too. They probably have learned from their mistakes. They're probably not that person anymore. And you know what? It would be amazing if somehow we would reconnect, if somehow they would come back and apologize, and we can have a good conversation, right? And then after a few hours of good conversation and understanding, we could check into a hotel. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of Psychopath Exposure. My name is Kira, and I hope you guys had a happy new year. If you're just watching now for the first time, it is 2024. Let's see what good things this year shall bring. I wanted to read a comment. I still want to read a comment from someone that experienced a Christmas Hoover or a holiday Hoover just not so long ago. It's something that happens every year. We've talked about it many times here in this channel and in this community when the narcissist comes back during the holidays, during Christmas. Sometimes they come back on your birthday, Valentine's Day, Easter, Halloween, you name it. These narcissists have a way of picking the perfect moment to come back, to hoover, to see what's going on with your life, to see if there's a way back in, to see if they can extract more supply from you, to see if maybe you can ease the pain that they're going through. The never-ending pain, that never-ending void, never-ending emptiness that the narcissist, at the borderline, that the psychopath feels eternally, because they are empty inside and nothing from the outside world can quench that thirst, that abyss, that feeling of nothingness inside. Sex doesn't fix it. Food doesn't fix it. Drink doesn't fix it. Supply, handbags, money, yachts, 7-star hotels, 10,000 likes on Instagram within 1 hour of posting. None of that fills that never-ending void of a disordered individual with narcissist personality disorder. And you know, for many people that don't have the disorder, that also feel empty inside, keep looking for something on the outside to fill you, it's not going to work either. But having said that, let me get to the comments before I run out of time here. This one comes from Kaylin, and she says, so many solid words from the wise here in this video. Came at the perfect time. My ex broke me down with a Christmas Hoover this weekend. And I thought, since we had been no contact for a few years, and I had grown up significantly since then, that maybe we could be simply friends again. Fast forward not even 2 days into a hotel stay. Hold on a second. So you thought maybe you could be friends with benefits, because friends don't just get a hotel, or do they? I don't know. He started fighting with me, disrespecting me, being the complete sociopath I know him to be. And something inside me just lit up, and I threw his sorry ass out. Did you throw him out of the hotel? Just curious. Christmas night, too. I actually felt bad, but you know, the audacity to talk to me in any such way after I've dug deep within myself to try to forgive all his fuckery and start fresh again. No. He can get the hell out and sleep in his car for all I care. We can never be friends again. The heart never forgets once it's been shattered. Damn right, Kaylin, and sorry you fell for the trap. Sorry you gave your narcissist or your abuser or your toxic ex or whatever label you want to put there. Sorry that you gave him another chance and got burned again. Because you see, that's happened to all of us. It's happened to me so many times. And I'm sure it's happened to most people in this community more than once with the same person. With the same person. Sorry you had to go through that. I know damn well that it only takes 2 days for the same thing to happen and for you to realize, well, hot diggity dog, nothing has changed. Let me tell you what it really is that's going on when these situations occur. Not from the narcissist point of view. I'm gonna focus on the survivor or the victim, mind you. We start to idealize in the same way the narcissist does, right? We start to idealize our ex. We start to idealize them, and we imagine what it would be like after all these years of no contact for them to come back, especially on Christmas, especially on the holidays, on the New Year, right? You idealize that not just one day or one random night. The victim of narcissistic abuse tends to idealize their narcissist abuser for years, especially during the no contact. If they don't do the work to actually recover from this nightmare, if you don't do the work, you're going to spend an eternity idealizing your ex. Especially if you're not dating anybody again. And mind you, I don't recommend anyone that's gotten out of a psychopathic or narcissistic entanglement that involved all the check boxes and the cheating and the betrayal and all that. I don't recommend anyone to start dating for at least a year. Okay? For at least a year, and really work on yourself, really do the work that it takes to recover from this horrible experience. But for those that have, a significant amount of time has happened and you still haven't found someone else, and it's been years and you've been alone and lonely at the same time, which means things haven't worked out for you the way you thought. You're going to idealize your ex. You're going to idealize them in the perfect light that maybe if all this time you've been working on you and you've grown, as Kaylin pointed out, and you've wisened up to things, you have stronger boundaries, you recognize what's important in life now as opposed to back then, well, you start imagining that the narcissist or the psychopath or the toxic person that screwed you over, you start to idealize and wonder, hey, you know what, they probably have grown up too. They probably have learned from their mistakes. They're probably not that person anymore. And you know what? It would be amazing if somehow we would reconnect, if somehow they would come back and apologize, and we can have a good conversation, right? And then after a few hours of good conversation and understanding, we could check into a hotel. Sorry, I had to. But you do idealize it, and that's exactly what you imagine. You will check into a hotel, that you will rekindle things, and you'll start taking it slow, you'll baby step it, you'll learn to forgive, and maybe you won't jump into a relationship now, but look guys, I've done the same thing back then, just like you're probably doing now. You're idealizing this situation that's impossible. When reality hits, and when they do come back, because most of them, not all of them, but most of them do. Most of them try to hoover. When they do come back and you do give them that opportunity and you do check into that hotel, when it's all over, nothing has changed. It's going to be the same person. And that notification on their phone is going to pop up. And your stomach is going to turn again. And you're going to ask yourself, what the hell? Like, really? And then you're going to discover that they haven't been alone for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. They're in a relationship right now, grooming somebody else, cheating on that person, and then they thought it would be a great idea to come back to you and have another source of supply, the one that they really feel comfortable with, if you're so lucky. Because don't think just because the narcissist comes back to you that you are the main supply, or that you are the one that they actually have some sort of love for. Don't be conned. You're not that special. I made the mistake of thinking that. You're not that special. Okay? Oftentimes, you're just the side chick or the side dude also, and they have another and another and another, and you don't know who their main source of supply is, especially if you haven't heard from them for how long did you say? How many years did you have no contact to? You have no idea how many people down the block they've already bunked with. Okay? So don't think that you're special. I'm sure you shared your moments, but they had moments with the other people too. Okay? And there are many others just like you that are probably idealizing their narcissistic abuser just like you. And there are many just like you that probably were next on the list or right before you guys checked into a hotel. Maybe he was checking out of another one. Okay, so I'm sorry you had to go through that, but the silver lining here is that you got that validation. You saw exactly what he was once again, even after years of you working on yourself and healing, right? And thinking, hey, maybe this, maybe that. You realize that with these people, it's always going to be the same. No matter what they say, it's always going to be the same. The moment you allow them back, the moment they feel that, okay, good, I got through that uncomfortable conversation. Now we can go have coffee like we used to. Now we can go to the mall like we used to. Now we can cuddle up and watch some Netflix like we used to. And now we can go to our favorite hotel just to rekindle that old flame. Once that happens, once they know that they got you, they can't hold that facade much longer. When you first met them, yes, but once you've gone on this merry-go-round time and time again, they can't sustain that anymore. They really can't. And you're doing yourself a disservice for idealizing the narcissist and thinking that, yes, that they could change like you have. No. Sadly, they can't. And that's a reality. That's a pill that's hard to swallow. You know? That's what it is. So, I'm happy to hear that you threw them out. I'm happy to hear that you weren't going to put up with that BS anymore. I'm happy to hear that you do indeed have boundaries. And let me tell you the best part of it all is that before this happened, your brain was still in, even though you had worked on yourself and you had gotten boundaries and you were no contact, the brain is always going to remember the last traumatic experience. If you had a traumatic experience at a restaurant and you haven't gone back to that restaurant for 2 or 3 years, the idea of going back is you're gonna recall that experience, and it's gonna re-trigger you, and you're gonna be afraid to go back to that restaurant until you go back with somebody new, maybe with friends, maybe with a romantic partner, maybe even alone, but hopefully with people, and you have an exceptional time. Now, what's gonna happen? The next time you think about going back to that restaurant, the first recalled memory is going to be the last one you had. It's going to be the great time that you had. Sure, you're still going to remember that traumatic experience, but it's not going to be in the forefront anymore because your brain got the proof that it needed to know that, hey, it's actually safe to go back there. And what had happened was just like a one-time experience. You were at the wrong place at the wrong time, but now your brain had that proof. Remember I say the brain needs proof, not promise. You can promise somebody, hey, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, until you go and you experience it for yourself, that it is okay and that it's an amazing time. You're always going to have that doubt, okay? So now that you were put into a similar situation with the same person again who had abused you and lied to you and done all this nonsense, now that you actually stood up for yourself, threw him out and didn't put up with it, okay? Now, next time this happens, next time he tries to hoover you again on Christmas or Halloween, okay? That's my favorite holiday, by the way. If we can combine Halloween and Christmas, okay, like in The Nightmare Before Christmas, that would be spectacular. But yeah, if they do come back, whenever they come back, now you know that you've already confronted that demon and you've put an end to it, and there's nothing to fear. They come back again, you know exactly what you're gonna do. It's not a matter of, oh, I hope I'm strong enough to kick them out. I hope I'm strong enough not to take the call. I hope I'm strong enough if somehow they get through and we're talking, that I'm able to gray rock. I hope if somehow we communicate, that I'm able to keep my feelings in check, my emotions under control. I can say what I need to say in less words, in the least amount of words possible, and not allow them to get inside my head again. Not to even entertain a word salad conversation that's going to manipulate you and brainwash you again. This is why it's so important to go no contact with narcissists and psychopaths. This is why you have to. There's no other way. There's no other way. They know how to talk to you for hours and plant seeds and gaslight. You know, they're gonna gaslight, and they're gonna make you think that what had happened before wasn't really what happened, and what you think they were doing wasn't exactly what they were doing, and they're going to tell you what you want to hear, okay? They will tell you exactly what you want to hear so that you can believe them. They have no shame, right? They have no shame. They have no agency. They have no morals. They have no self-worth. They have a grandiose, false self that seems online, on social media, in front of others. It seems like they got it together. It seems like they're hot shit. Believe me, they're not. They're empty vessels on the inside, and this is why they do the things that they do. If your narcissistic ex had actually grown up and changed, he would not have treated you exactly the same way that he was treating you before. Am I right? And it only took 2 days for you to realize that. So in a sense, you were gaslighting yourself. We gaslight ourselves many, many times when we deal with narcissistic personality disordered individuals. See, with normal people, we tend to not gaslight ourselves. With normal people, you can have a rational conversation because they're rational people on the other end. So none of these shenanigans happen. The minute you're dealing with a borderline, with a narcissist, with a psychopath, with a sociopath, you can't even have a conversation with a sociopath. Those people are deranged, right? But you can't expect that you're going to have a rational conversation with an irrational person. It's never going to happen. And if you think that somebody like that is going to just grow up and change, and you need to study this disorder a little bit longer, or at least you need to study the patterns of behavior, study the past, what they've always done time and time again, and realize that the best way to predict the future is by studying its past. Now you can go ahead and take a risk on that person again. Go for it. Let me know how that works out for you. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I learned my lesson. Right? I've got other lessons to learn now, because life is all about learning lessons, right? But you don't want to be stuck learning the same lesson time and time again, because let me tell you, it drags out, it gets boring, life passes you by, people are sick and tired of listening to your shit, and it gets harder each and every time. That's the thing. It gets harder each and every time, and you're thinking like, man, it's so hard to get over this, and the reward of getting over it by the time you get over it is so small. Because like, had I figured this out back then, wow, I would have been taking on bigger and better challenges, bigger and better problems that would have been reaping bigger and better results, right? A better quality of life. But you've been stuck dealing with the same person with the same narcissistic trauma bond over and over and over again, because you've been giving in to that addiction. You've been giving in to, you've been idealizing them, but you've been giving in to the bullshit that they time and time again bring back to the same old table. Aren't you sick and tired of that already? Aren't you? Because when I was sick and tired, I was done. And this goes with everything in my life. Once I get sick and tired of being sick and tired, it's time for change. Okay? So, glad you got out. Glad you threw them out. Don't be checking into any more hotels with toxic narcissistic exes. Okay? Don't do it to yourself. I challenge everyone in this new year to do what temptation and society doesn't want you to do. If you've recently been discarded from a psychopath or a narcissist, if you've been cheated on by a narcissist, by a borderline, by just a fucking asshole, by just a freaking, I don't know, running out of adjectives here, okay? But I will pull up my thesaurus later. If that's happened to you, do yourself a favor and take this year off from dating so that you don't accidentally make the common mistake of desperately seeking out a replacement, that you're gonna attract another narcissist. You're gonna attract somebody else. In your vulnerable state, you're going to attract another predator. I challenge you. Most people can't do this. I had to do it. You know, it's great. And you know what? Time flies. And time flies. And during that time, you can be doing amazing things. It doesn't mean you can't be meeting people. It doesn't mean you can't go out and have a good time, but refrain from dating for 1 year. Can you do it? Instead of desperately seeking someone to put it inside, or for them to put it inside you, right? How about you practice the law of transmutation, right? And you take that sexual energy and you apply it into something else that's constructive, and you create something from it. The energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? So you're creating something new from that energy, right? It's just transforming. That's all you're doing. It's transforming into something else. Try it. Let me know how that feels. Let me know how that works out for you. Because all I hear is, oh, I met another narcissist, I met another narcissist, I met another narcissist. Well, how long have you been working on yourself? How long have you been enjoying life and not trying to replace the pain, right, by bringing in someone new? So you're still seeking for something out there. And what you got to do is find something in here that's going to fill you. Remember, the narcissist has nothing inside, but you do. Just got to find it. All right, so sound off in the comments if this information resonates with you, or if you have any questions or are confused about something. Drop me a line below and I'll respond in a video, most likely, as I always do. If you got any value whatsoever, drop a like on the video. And, you know, really try to make a commitment to yourself this new year, right? That you're going to, you can never be perfect, but everything that you do from now on, consciously, every conscious decision that you do from now on, or that you make from now on, is going to help you move forward, right? It's going to help you move forward, as opposed to spinning your wheels and going nowhere fast. Make sure that every conscious decision that you make is leading you out of hell, not further deep into hell. All right? So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Remember, I do have a private one-on-one coaching program if you want to work with me so we can devise a plan to get out of hell. Drop me a line. Have a link below in the description so you can get more information on my coaching program and whether we're a good fit for each other. I would love to hear from you. Do not hesitate to reach out. And that's all I got for today. So hope you're having an amazing day or evening whenever you're watching this. My name is Kira. This is Psychopath Exposure. Be good to yourselves. Keep moving forward. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.